Welcome to Technique Friday with Els. The technique I'm going to show you is coloring on a watercolor paper. I'll be using the owl die from Joset Designs. I'm going to use the Through the Lens cardstock, the wood series. So this is the die that I used. The die comes with a solid, with an overlay, a separate piece for the eyes and the beak and the feet, and then a branch. This is the Through the Lens wood series, and I used two designs from that one. I used this one and this one. And then I used our watercolor paper, and you get 10 sheets 4 by 9 inch in a package. So what I did first, I cut the solid, so this one, and I cut it out of our watercolor paper. So you can use any die cut machine for that, so that's the solid one. Then I took the overlay, this one, and I run it through on black cardstock. Don't use too heavy cardstock. If it's too heavy, you need to use a metal adapter plate. And I put our clear double-sided adhesive on the back. So what you do, you pick up that owl, and of course you need to poke out the pieces. I did a little bit of prep for you, so you don't need to see that. But so you take the overlay. I'm going to put the die aside as well. And then I'm going to put it on that. I'm going to line it up as nicely as I can. So start in the corner. So I'm going to line it up, and that looks nice. So that's it. And what you can do as well, if you want to, of course, you can just use a square of the watercolor paper and stick your owl on there and work like that if you want to use it that way. And trick, I think most of you know already, like if you have edges that don't look perfect, if you didn't line it up perfectly, I like to use a brush tip when I do this because it works really well. I can just edge those edges with black. But I think it's pretty straight on this time, so we're good. So I have a base of watercolor paper and then the black overlay. And I use black because that doesn't pick up any color from the product, from the coloring product I'm going to use. And what I'm using as a color palette, and I saw it the first time in the Netherlands with Anita Isendoorn, but I have no idea who came up with this brilliant idea. But what I did, I printed a distress color chart from the Ranger website. We stamped it with the different colors, and then I put you can either laminate it, or I put a transparent PVC on there, like a sheet, using our clear double-sided adhesive. So, but you can also laminate it, as long as it's plastic. And then you can use this as a palette for your paint. So what you can do, you take your minis, and this is the wild honey, and you just, because that square is exactly the same size, and I can just push it on there, and then you have your color. This is the vintage photo, so if I need some color, and when you mess it up, but it actually stays nice really well. And when you mess it up a little bit, you just take a tissue or a baby wipe and you clean it off, and then you can start again. You see, so that's my palette to paint. And then I'm using the Waterbrush here, also Ranger. I didn't put water in there because I like to be able, because these are all smaller spaces, I like to be able to control it more. And sometimes with the Waterbrush I get too much paint. So I'm just going to show you a little bit. So I'm just can pick it up here. I will bring this in a little bit so you can see better. And then I can just start painting. See, like this. So you just pick it up. And you see, because I have a black line, my paint will not show up. See, now I have that, and then I'm going to bring in a little bit of the darker color. And and of course, I'm not a professional painter, so everybody can do this. It's just, play with the different colors, with the different tones. The only thing I always tell people when I work with watercolor, I never stop in the middle of a piece, because if I stop here, I will get a watermark, and I don't want that. You see, and then I can take some, for this one, I can take some wild honey. You see, so you can make it as beautiful. You can bring in more shadow if you want to. Let's see, let's take some of this for the, and you can go wherever you want to. If you just play with those kind of brown tones in there with the owl, it's always going to look fabulous. So I'm going to use that brushed corduroy a little bit more everywhere, and then I can just bring in some more shadow with the different colors. And it's a really fun technique. And of course we have a lot of different dies now with overlays. So this is a great technique to do. If you don't have a die cutting machine, you can use our peel off stickers, of course. Just going to fill in everything with that lighter color first, and then I'm going to go in with some other colors. You see, so it's really, really easy to do. The eyes and the beak I'm not going to do because I have a separate piece for that. And I will show you that in a second. So now everything has a little bit of color. And then I can just pick up, you see this is the walnut stain, it's a little bit darker. So I can use that here. And I do a little bit here and then add a little bit of color. And then just brush it out. I can go from the bottom. And also, you know, with this technique, you can always go back. So if I want this a little bit lighter, I can just start here again and kind of light it up a little bit. So you can, you know, just play. That's basically the message. Here I have vintage photo, also a beautiful color. A little bit here. But then I go all the way to the bottom because I don't want a water stain in the middle. So just play with the different tones you have for this paint. And then here I want a little bit lighter. I think I'm almost there. That's the owl. And then we have those 2 extra pieces. So I used our colored soft finish for that, for the yellow, for the beak and the feet, and then that's for the eyes. So I'm just going to take that out and you just, oh, and I backed it, not to forget, with the clear double-sided adhesive. So I can just pick it up using our tweezer and stick it in here. And then I have the feet here, and again backed with our clear double-sided adhesive. And you just glue it on there. And then I have that beak. And then you have your little owl, and then you can do exactly the same. So for the branch, you can see I use some brown tones as well and some green here for the leaf. So the branch I just cut out of our watercolor paper and colored it with the distress ink as well. So thank you for watching, I hope you liked it, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you get an update every time we send something out.